It's time for our cash tag segment. For that, let's bring in Landon Swan. He's a co-founder at Likefolio. Welcome back to the show, Landon.
Hey, thank you. Good to be here.
All right, so we're talking Tesla, one of your favorites, and yours and Andy's favorite, rebounding about 17-18% so far this month. It's had a good run, but it was disappointing earnings last quarter. You guys seeing any data out there that kind of justifies this move back higher?
Yeah, actually, you know what? We're seeing a lot of pretty strong data out of Tesla. This is one, as you alluded to, that we've been bullish on for quite some time, going back years, frankly. But you know, we've been in and out of it, I guess, as an analyst. But overall, very bullish on Tesla. And some of the reasons that we're seeing that are, you know, the data that can back it up are the mentions are up about 7% on a year-over-year basis. Most of that is actually fueled by the Model X and the Model Y, with, of course, the Cybertruck contributing a lot of buzz lately. So we're seeing, you know, strong uptick in mentions on a year-over-year basis, just a slight uptick actually, but it's starting to move very strong. And then when we get to the web visits, it's very strong. It's about 62% on a year-over-year basis. So a lot more interest on Tesla.com. Obviously, that's where you would go before you buy. You're thinking about buying, you're checking it out. And I think a lot of that has to do with not only the buzz and the quality of the vehicles, but also the price. I mean, they have decreased the price by about 25% on a year-over-year basis, where almost every other car manufacturer is up on a year-over-year basis. Everything is getting more expensive in the U.S. except for Tesla cars. And so, you know, you can have a pretty good debate on what that means about the company. Are they in trouble? They can't sell them, therefore they've got to cut the price, or are they trying to scale to very high levels and get, you know, compete with much cheaper cars? And this is very bullish for the automaker. So it's tough to really to weigh in on that. I think it's a little bit of both, frankly. I mean, if they had the pricing power to keep them up, they would. Maybe they don't have as much, but it could be a factor of so much increased production that they've got to move these somehow, and they're getting out there and now they're competing with really cheap cars like a Corolla. I mean, this is something that you wouldn't think of 3 or 4 years ago. And so you can see that the Model X, the Model Y are definitely leading the way when it comes to year-over-year growth. We'll have the Cybertruck in there next year on a year-over-year basis. I think they've got their first 10 that are going to be delivered on Thursday of this week, and then they're going to ramp up production over the next year or two to about 5,000 units per week. So they're moving, and I haven't seen one in the wild yet. I'm looking forward to seeing one soon. You know, down here in South Florida, I'm sure I'll see a couple, but I can't wait to see what these things actually look like in person. And, you know, I'm sure we'll talk about it, but it doesn't look like a truck to me. But, you know, I'm a truck guy, but I still think it's interesting. I'd never own one, but I definitely want to see one. With those price cuts, though, their margins are decreasing, I think, from about, down to about from 25% down to about 18%. So, you know, they're getting leaner, I guess, on the balance sheet or on the income statement, but their numbers are really ramping up. So they are still the clear leader when it comes to EVs, and they've got a lot of competition trying to catch up, but they're very, very far behind in the rearview mirror. Sorry, dad joke there, but they are leading the way very well when it comes to the EV market. And I wouldn't be surprised if this company is over 300 in the next, 6 months.
Landon, there's the word that I think strikes fear in the heart of Tesla shareholders and a lot of different sectors. It should be striking a fear right now in the hearts of AI holders, and that is competition. Because competition from, domestic players in China, competition from Ford, GM, not doing a great job of competing there, but there is some competition. Rivian seems to be starting to get in the game here, but the valuation of Tesla, its valuation is bigger than Ford and GM combined. This is a company that is Elon Musk doing all the right things? That's the big question. Is he cutting prices to bury the competition, or is he cutting prices because he has? By the way, the numbers, Tesla, gross profit margin 17.89, so you were close at 18%. Ford 14.24, GM 12.1, Toyota still 20.7. So it's going to get interesting here, but competition is the word that should scare Tesla stockholders, Landon.
I agree, but I mean, here's a little thought exercise. If I was going to tell you that one of the major auto manufacturers, including Tesla, was going to 5x over the next 10 years, who would you bet on?
Yes.
I mean, GM, Ford, they've had their opportunity to 5x. Tesla has shown that they can grow tremendously. And so this is a growth stock as much as it is a car manufacturing stock. I mean, they've shown significant insight with innovation. They've done a great job of just becoming a leader in so many different ways. And the fact that this drastic price cut now puts them basically in line with the competition, still on the high side when it comes to margins, is, I think, it's another sign that they were very high to begin with, but now they're coming in, and I think they're taking their competition out at the knees, frankly. The price parity is unbelievable. When you look out, you can go get a Model 3 for $28,000. That's unbelievable. 5 years ago, the first, what was it, the S? I think they were like 120,000. It was a dream car. It was an exotic car. And now, its little brother, the Model 3, which doesn't, obviously, it's not the same, but still, it's a Tesla, and there's a lot of cachet that goes along with that. 28,000 is a very low number for that car. Plus, they've got the Supercharger network that they're absolutely dominating. They've shown that they're the ones that can execute that better than anyone, and their competition is moving over into that category. And they seem to always have this new product buzz. I know that, for a while there it was the Model 3, and now it's the Cybertruck. The Model Y is taking off like crazy. So for a company with only, a handful of models, they're really doing a great job of getting consumers interested. I mean, just compare how many models they have to Ford, GM, and the rest. It's striking difference. But it's still enough to kind of check something for almost everyone. I think they need a real pickup truck and a real SUV. But I still think that a lot of their vehicles check the box for a lot of consumers out there.
Yeah, Landon, when you look at this, you mentioned the Supercharger network. I kind of wanted to explore that a little bit, because I think what people forget about is all the data that Tesla has. They do their software upgrades over air. If there's something wrong or they need to update it, they'll do it over air. But at the same time, if full self-driving becomes a thing, they've got more data than anybody. Is this going to be like the Supercharger network, where Ford and GM already said they're going to use that? So they're going to be a licensing company pretty soon if that becomes reality, right? And that's probably where the margins are going to be the biggest, right?
Absolutely. And think about how far ahead. Yes, they're killing it when it comes to the Supercharger network, but they're also extremely far ahead when it comes to self-driving. I mean, no one else is even close. They're putting time and effort into AI. They're competing with OpenAI now with their own version. And you can argue about which one of those is better, but it just shows you that they are committed to using technology to their advantage. And they're going to be first to self-driving, no doubt about it, and they're going to be far ahead. And then it's, like you said, it's going to be a question of Ford saying, well, do we want to invest the billions and billions and the years that it's going to take to become what Tesla is now, and then years later they'll still be far behind? Or do we want to license this technology somehow? I mean, there are other plays besides just the cars for Tesla. There's a lot of upside in there, and it seems like every avenue that they explore, they dominate. They're doing well with cars. The Supercharger network, they're dominating. They're going to dominate self-driving. So if I have to own one of these car manufacturers, Tesla's in just a completely separate class for me. And it's, like I said, it is the one that could 5X in the next 10 years, whereas the others are going to have to make hard decisions, compete versus license and partner.
Yeah, we've already seen Ford announce that they're going to pull back some of their investments. They continue to lose money on these EVs, and Tesla, definite leader. All right, great stuff. Great bullish data here, Landon. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Have a good week.
All right, Landon Swan, co-founder of Likefolio, breaking down that information.